Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
That motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution to approve the extension addendum to the KaBoom Play Everywhere Challenge Grant Agreement?
I make the motion.
Support.
It's been moved by Rutherford, seconded by Nicholson. So that motion is now before us. Mayor and staff, you have the floor.
So this is an agreement that facilitates the installation through a grant of equipment and infrastructure in the downtown plaza. Not a park, I want to emphasize and underscore. I know there was quite a bit of debate last council term about that. But in the plaza that I think is most commonly known as the open space, the public space next to Fillmore 13.
Yes.
This originally, this grant, I believe, was accepted and an agreement was entered into with the approval of the previous city council that I believe actually voted on both of those things. There was an extension to that grant agreement because the grant agreement required the funds to be spent within a certain amount of time. There was originally an extension to that that was signed by the previous mayor, although it wasn't voted on by council. We want to further extend that to a date this summer, and Ms. Borngesser can explain the specific term of the extension. And while we may not actually need council approval to enter into that extension of time, we thought it made sense to bring it before council and seek your formal approval for that extension of time within which we can spend the funds and install all of this infrastructure in that plaza. Ms. Borngesser?
That about does it. This was a grant agreement that was accepted by the former council. It's dated July 2nd of 2019. It is my understanding, as folklore had been shared with me, that this went round and round, and then COVID hit, and there were delays in the actual installation in Hidden River Plaza. There was an extension addendum that was signed by the former administration, and the funder was happy to issue it. We have a very good relationship with them. They understand the circumstances fully. They want us to make these plaza improvements, and they don't want us to have to send the money back. And so they've issued us another extension addendum. This runs through the end of the city's fiscal year, and we are on schedule for having the project completed and the grant closed out on. As you know, that's an administrative process in and of itself. And to be in good standing with the funder to pursue future funding for future projects. So what you have before you, again, I would love an action on this item to approve the mayor to execute this extension addendum to allow us to complete the improvements in Hidden River Plaza and close out on this grant award.
All right, first on the speakers list, the representative for Hidden River Plaza, District 1, Councilwoman Rutherford.
I want to make this into an action item, and then is that instead of us waiting on it, can we just vote on this tonight?
Yes, as long as there's no motion to table.
But I do want to say this. Let me tell you why this is important. To have a place where our artists in our community can actually perform that is free to the citizens is of the most importance. Music, shows, plays outdoors, Shakespeare in the park, if you will. We can dream big because we have an actual pavilion. And I know to some that don't mean nothing, but to me, music saved and made me, and it protected me, and it honored me. And so to me, making sure this happens is of the utmost importance, because without music, I wouldn't be the human being that I am. There are so many students, and I'm not grandson, I'm being funky cold Medina one moment. There are people in this community, I'm sorry because I got to make a spade because I see sideways and I like to be truthful. There are people in this community that need an outlet that is healthy instead of being dysfunctional. And so this has to happen as soon as possible. And so that's just my 2 minutes free, and my preaching moment is done. That's it.
Councilwoman James.
What exactly, there's been such history with this issue. What exactly is being built at Hidden River Plaza?
So the original grant was written for, or was titled Fun and Sounds Abound Downtown. And so it is my understanding, based on stories that were shared with me and the review of council minutes, that there were different types of equipment that could be installed in the plaza and things that could not. And so through community engagement done by the Pontiac Economy Incubator, there was a consensus to put a performance space into the plaza. along with some sort of interactive musical equipment. I believe that I know that there were drums of some sort installed in the plaza. They're kind of a blend of an art installation, an interactive art installation, and musical equipment. The planning department, Vern Gustafson, and Donovan have worked with someone to design a covered performance space. We did have the intention to put two, actually, one on the lower portion of the plaza, the second on the upper portion of the plaza. Again, this is a $56,500 grant. It did not allow for that based on construction costs. So for now, we're putting one on the upper portion of the plaza with the hope of future funding for the lower half. It is a shade sail structure that would allow for covered performances, musical performances, etc. We do intend to seek further funding for the plaza and the alleyway and other portions of downtown, and perhaps run electrical out there so folks can plug in audio equipment and things like that in future developments. But for now, it is a shade sail covered performance space.
Any further discussion? Thank you. With that speakers list exhausted, we now move into voting on adoption of the resolution to approve the extension addendum to the KaBoom Play Everywhere Challenge Grant Agreement. Clerk Doyle.
Nicholson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Rutherford,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
That motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution to approve the memorandum of understanding between the City of Pontiac and grants advisors Philip Clay and Gibre Meritab? Sorry. The consulting project is funded in full by the Ballmer Group.
I do. Make a motion.
Support.
Moved by Rutherford, seconded by Carrington. That motion is before us. Mayor and staff, you have the floor.
Your pronunciation